Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Laura Sturm.
Welcome to episode 174. Can you believe we have 174 episodes? Like, what?
I don't believe it.
Well, believe it. How are you, Josh Rohr?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Missed you the last couple weeks.
I know. I've been just traveling, then I was so sick. And I'm back now. I'm 100%, pretty much, except
You're back for more?
I'm just back to life. But I am weak like kitten.
Because you're back.
Yes, exactly like that.
So you did.
I didn't even get the reference. I'm sorry. One of my favorite bands, and
I bumped it. I said it. It was there for you to spike, and just nothing. Oh well.
failed.
Failed.
Loser.
It's all right. I guess we'll ease you back in.
Yeah. See, there you go.
I guess I'll start off doing the majority of the work here to let you ease
Like
back.
always.
Yeah, right. We had regionals a couple weeks ago. We had 8 lifters compete, and this is the first episode we've done since regionals. So I know we're a couple weeks late with this, but figure we'll go over it. 8 lifters. We had a total of 18 meet PRs from those 8 lifters. So I think that's pretty good. Gwen Cook lifted. She placed first in the 75 kilo M3s. She tied her PR bench, hit a PR deadlift and a PR total, all while lifting in a lower weight class for the first time. So that was pretty good. Stacy Metcalf, she hit all 4 PRs, squat, bench, dead, and total.
Wow.
She had been lifting equipped for a while, and this is her first meet back raw. And I think it went pretty well. Taylor Smith, she hit a PR squat, PR bench, tied her PR deadlift, and hit a PR total. So it was a pretty good day for her. Ari Hall hit a PR squat, bench, dead, and total. And they were all pretty easy. So like we haven't really found out what her capacity is yet. Every time we put on so Wade does her programming, and he wrote out her attempts, and he had kind of like best case scenario numbers. And there were a couple of them, like after her second attempt, I'm like, I'm a gambler. We're going to go a little above what he said as like best case scenario. And then she destroyed it. So I'm just like,
Wow.
we don't know what she's capable of yet. It's pretty exciting.
Nice.
Olivia, she hit a 477 dots. It wasn't her best meet. She was hoping to earn the pro card. She missed all of her third attempts, but she still hit the 477.35 dots, which the minimum to earn a pro card is 475. So she exceeded that with a subpar day. But she got beat out by a girl named Madison Lewis from Alabama for the pro card. So I still think it was a pretty solid day for her overall. I mean, she, like I said, but yeah, I mean, anytime you're hitting the pro minimum dots, that's a good day. So pretty proud of her for showing up. She had a lot going on with, school, finishing her PhD, all that stuff. So training was kind of like world didn't revolve around training like sometimes it does. So anyway, pretty proud of her. And anyway, Mike Palmer competed. He went 7 for 9. And it was his first time lifting in the 181 class since 2022. And it was his second USAPL meet. He had been doing some USPA meets before. Had a pretty good day. Wasn't, quite what we were expecting on the top end either, but, overall pretty solid 7 for 9. Will Ruff, he had a PR squat and a PR bench and finished third in the open. And then Kevin Cregan hit a PR squat, PR deadlift, and PR total in the Masters 100 kilo class M2s. That was his first meet first meet back at 100. He missed it a few times in the last couple of meets. So those are all PRs at a lower weight class. And then he also had a 428.98 age adjusted dots, which the minimum for Masters pro cards is 425. So he exceeded that threshold. But he was fourth overall in the best lifters, and only the best lifter got the pro card. So we missed out on that as well. But pretty solid meet from him, especially at that lower weight class. So excited to see what he does in the future.
Mm.
Questions?
Wow, that's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Well, and Kevin, was this his second meet with you?
Yeah. State
Or
was
second meet
second
ever?
meet with me. No, he's done a few meets
Okay.
before. This is his second meet with me.
Mhm.
His first one was oh yeah, you helped coach at the state meet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
And I always love seeing William Ruff lift because he always just makes everything look so easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
yeah.
It was a lot of fun. We were in a battle with we were in a battle for second with Josh Anderson. The guy in first was a little bit out of reach, but I think back in 2021 or something like that, Josh and Will lifted against each other, and Will, we put it on his third to pull to win on body weight, and he got it. So Josh had been talking about that for a while. This is the rematch, and Josh won. So we both agreed. Well, Will and I both agreed that there'll be a third round. We had to talk to Josh about that.
There will be.
Yeah.
Nice. And I always love hearing about Olivia's lifting because she's just such an incredible lifter.
Yeah. She's super strong and like has a ton of potential. And I don't think she realizes like how much potential she has. Although like she does like to like, I don't know what the word is. Like she's extremely confident, and also like, I don't know, maybe impatient is a little bit of a word. Like, I want to squat the world record like in 6 months. Like the crazy part is like, I think she's capable of that, like in the big picture. Which to even say that is a ridiculous statement, but I believe it. But then when you throw in like her desire to do it in 6 months, it's like, okay, that's not gonna happen. Like I believe in you, but like let's be realistic here.
Right. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Stacy with 4 PRs.
Yeah. After coming back from Equipped for a while. So like,
yeah. See, tells you something. Everyone should go to Equipped and then come back to Raw.
She's gonna hate that because yeah, I am gonna use that argument. Like it did.
Told you so.
Yeah. Good enough. Told you so.
Told you so. Nice.
Yep.
And Gwen, I think I saw her lift at the state meets for the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't her first meet, but it was her first meet with us. So Gwen and Kevin started roughly. Yeah. Gwen and Kevin trained together. They roughly started at the same time, and this is their second meet with us.
Awesome. Wow.
Yep.
And I apologize for not mentioning the others because I don't think I've met them. And I hope they come to the Team Roar training weekend, then I'll get to meet them.
Let me see. Looking at the list, I think most of them are. Not all of them, but most of them are. So,
all right.
Yeah. So we had some Q&A.
Oh, people are asking us questions?
Yeah. So one of them was from Wade. Big Wade 800.
I'm going to ask you the question then.
Okay.
So Big Wade 800 asked, do you believe you can condition the CNS, the central nervous system?
So do I believe we can, or is it scientifically like science that yes, you can?
Both.
Okay. Yes.
To both?
To both. Yeah. So, and I mean, let's start with the very basic, like newbie gains. Literally, newbie gains are a result of the nervous system becoming more acclimated to lifting heavier weight. It's not that you put on a bunch of muscle mass right away. It's not that it's literally the nervous system being conditioned to train for heavier weight or to move heavier weight. So yeah, 100%. Even with more, more seasoned lifters, like put it this way, I'm going to go off, how I go off the rails with analogies. So I don't remember the exact percentage that I should have done a little more brushing up and refreshing my memory here, but I don't remember the exact like range of like nervous system potential that's used, right? But usually it's somewhere like, I honestly don't remember, somewhere like 20, 30% of like what it could put, your muscle mass is being contracted roughly at 20 to 30% of what it is capable of. So I guess where I'm going with this, when people get electrocuted they get the death penalty and they hit the electric chair, the electricity contracts the muscles to the point where it actually snaps bones, rips tendons, things like that.
Mm.
So the muscles themselves are capable of a hell of a lot more than what is being used is the point here. So yes, building muscle mass makes you stronger, but also conditioning the nervous system. So lifters that are, restricted to a weight class or, and can't really gain weight, like you can still get stronger. And that's a result of the nervous system. I mean, result of proficiency, getting better at the movements, but you can still train the nervous system to work instead of at 20%, 21%, and that's significant. So, those are things that we do look at with our programming and, try to maximize that side of it as well, because, again, that's science.
Science. That's science. I think we should put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. And I'm really disappointed in myself because I used to know the exact numbers, percentage that the nervous system, like, what's being recruited. And I don't remember off the top of my head. So
well, at first I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah. A lot of times I don't know where I'm going until I get there.
Yeah, right. I wasn't aware that you could recruit your muscles like that hard to break bones. And
well, so
that's crazy.
we typically don't, like,
well,
as humans. Yeah, like we don't have that capacity, but like if we could unlock that, that potential to take the governors off of the nervous system a little bit more, and you just think of even 50%, like and who knows, like when you get the electric chair, is that even 100%, like, but it's the muscles themselves are capable of ripping bones or tendons off the bones and snapping bones.
Wow.
So the muscles themselves aren't weak. It's your ability to contract them.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So for all those people that make fun of me for having very low muscle mass,
you're like, I don't need it. I've got a hell of a CNS.
Well, I mean, to a degree, yes, like not anymore, but like back when I was competing, like I remember this meet, I deadlifted 644 for the win at a meet at 165 body weight. And Kurt St. Romain, I don't know if you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He comes over and he's like, how do you pull that with those grandma hips? And then he went on to like make fun of like how little muscle mass I have and stuff like that. Like, I mean, we're friends, so he wasn't like legit making fun of me, but it was just like, man, like, back off, dude. Anyway, so the point is funny. Like, yeah. So I guess the point is like, I legit did have very low muscle mass. I mean, compared to a lot of other lifters when I was competing at that higher level. So anyway, so short answer to answer Wade's question, yes, I believe you can condition the CNS. And he was very open-ended on that question. He didn't even say, do you believe you condition it for anything specific? He just said, do you believe you can condition it? So
you're like, yeah, of course. So conditioning the CNS, gaining muscle so that you can recruit more muscle, and technique. Yep. Is that like the triad, or is there something else that?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the big ones. I mean, there's little things like, I guess that would fall under conditioning the CNS, like desensitizing your Golgi tendon organ, which is basically like the governor of, it's what restricts your body from. So like if you ever see somebody deadlifting and they start shaking, that is your Golgi tendon organ basically like shutting you down because it's oversensitive with the intention of protecting you from injury.
Right.
So, part of conditioning your CNS is desensitizing that, which allows you to, continue to whatever,
perform.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
What was the question though? You asked, I feel like I started answering something else.
if we were to think about strength as building like technique, muscle mass, and conditioning your CNS,
Yeah.
just basically everything fall under that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the big three. I mean, you still got to focus on recovery, mobility issues, but I think, talking bang for your buck in terms of lifting heavy weight. Yeah, I think that's probably your big three.
Oh yeah, nutrition.
Yeah, nutrition,
Yeah, recovery. Yeah, sleep,
recovery,
whatever.
sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe there's 4 prongs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more like a 4-legged stool.
I think even if you take those three and call them the big three and only focus on those, like you're definitely not going to reach your potential. I mean, because you really have to, look at all the variables, all the little things that add up to overall progress and success.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean,
All
we could
right,
name
so
10 things, and I'd say there's still more things that you really, if you want to get to that top level, you gotta, But anyway, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Those are the big three.
Okay. Moving on. So the next question was, how long does it take to break in a suit or a shirt?
So I don't know who asked this. This was an anonymous question. I have a few theories as to who asked it. I could be wrong, and I will answer this as delicately as possible. I think to legit break it in, 1 or 2 workouts is probably fine.
I think 2.
Yeah, but I think if it's the person I think it is asking this, the answer is probably until it loses enough stiffness that it's not hurting as bad.
Yes. It's a good answer.
So even 1 or 2 workouts to get it broke in because you want it as new and as stiff as possible to use to get the most out of it. But that only works if you're able to handle that. So,
yes.
There's some people that do better with a really used, worn out shirt or suit that doesn't quite have that bite anymore because it's more quote unquote comfortable. So they actually can lift more because it's a deterrent the other way. So
right. Yeah, because if you're you kind of have that, I don't know if it's the CNS kicking in, but when the gear hurts so bad, it does kind of shut you down. It just I almost felt like I could get shocky from it,
Yeah.
Like it was just a lot. But I would say minimum 2 based on my experience, but because the first time you put on any new gear, the first time it sucks so bad. Like it just hurts. It's just not really fun. But the second time it's so much better. Just usually.
Yeah, well,
but
I
if
think
it's so tight
there,
that it still hurts, then
I think there's 2 things working there. I think the second time you put it on, you're expecting it to be so bad because that was your experience last time when you weren't expecting it to be that bad. So you go in with the mindset that this is going to be really painful. Like I'm braced for it. I'm ready for it. And then it's like, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right. Could be.
I think the difference between the first and second time is probably not as big as we actually make it out to be because of that very reason.
Yes. It's probably a little bit of perception, a little bit of actually.
Yeah.
It got
I mean, there's
looser by
some.
this much.
Yeah, there's some, but I think a lot of it's perception. Yeah.
God,
The same reason, like the first time you put knee wraps on after not wearing them, you're like, oh, these things hurt so bad. Even though we're wrapping at like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. And then the next time we wrap it a 7 and you're like, oh, these feel way better, even though they're tighter. It's just, you got the switch flipped ready for it that time.
Yeah. I just got to say, there's not a whole lot that sucks worse than a brand new tight squat suit.
Yeah.
Especially with the straps up for the first time and
inside of your legs getting ripped off.
Yeah.
I love it. I miss it. You know what? When we get off this podcast, I want to put one of my old suits on just for fun. Just sit and work in it.
Josh programming at his desk in a squat suit.
Could you imagine if I'm like somebody shows up and rings the doorbell And I like run upstairs in the suit. And it's one thing if I was training, but if it was you, if you like happen to show up at the house, rang the doorbell, and I run up and answer the door in my squat suit, your first impression would be like, "All right, you're training." No, I'm not. I'm actually just
No.
sitting. I'm in the basement working on the computer.
I just
What?
like wearing a really tight squat suit because I don't like self-abuse.
And you also know that I didn't put it on after the doorbell rang as a joke because it takes way too
Yeah,
long.
it takes way too long.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have seen you at a party wearing a squat suit for no reason. So, I mean,
oh yeah, but it wasn't. I didn't wear a super tight one.
no, I mean,
That was a party. It was, of course, it wasn't a super tight one.
I mean, no. And running
We
up
need
and
to,
down the street in a singlet. I remember that too.
yeah, it was at my housewarming party. I wanted to
Yeah.
invite all the neighbors. So what better way to get to know Josh Rohr than having him show up in a singlet knocking on your door at like
Going, we have a
midnight?
party. Come on over.
Yeah. Crazy
Yeah.
enough, a few people
Yeah.
actually came over.
They did too.
Most of them did not, but none of them called the cops. So
Yeah. And like of those neighbors that came over, I bet you were friends with them for a long time.
yeah, I still know quite a few of them.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
how to build relationships. Show up at someone's door wearing a singlet and pretty late and drunk.
I just put it under the category of powerlifting. How to meet friends, powerlifting.
Nice.
Well, technically, Josh,
Mm,
that wasn't powerlifting. You were just wearing a powerlifting singlet running down the street.
yeah, right.
Don't ask questions.
Okay, Josh, now you're having a conversation by yourself, so that just got a little weird.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So there's a discount that you were going to mention.
Yeah. So we all know James Vang. He's a massage therapist and one of our, used to work for us as a coach. And I saw him post something. He's doing 50% off of your next massage for every meet that you volunteer at. So
Wow.
that's pretty sweet. He's like
Yeah.
basically giving back to the people that are giving back to the sport, which I think is pretty cool.
Right.
So you can hit him up on Instagram if you're one of those people that have volunteered. Origins of Strength Massage is his Instagram handle for his massage business. So I think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that idea of giving back to people that give back.
Yeah.
Hey, and we always need more volunteers.
Yeah, always.
When I say we, I mean, meet directors, not actually.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you still love powerlifting.
I still love powerlifting. I'm just so on the fringe.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Hmm.
All right. I'll ask you. We got powerlifting situations. We got two powerlifting situations that have built up because we haven't done an episode, and two new lifter tips. So, first question to you.
Okay.
You just bought a new pair of knee sleeves. During your first squat workout with them, one of them rips. You are 2 weeks out from your meet. What do you do?
That's too close to be changing much with a new pair of knee sleeves in the first place. I would go back to my old knee sleeves personally. 2 weeks out, because by the time you got them replaced, you're really up against it. I mean, I guess the question would be, are they the same? Like I used to lift in Rhea bands, which aren't crazy. They're not SBD types of things. Like if they're another Rhea bands, then not that big of a deal.
Knee warmers.
Knee warmers. Yeah, they're more like knee warmers than knee support. But it's a thing. So if I was trying to break in a new pair of SBDs, I think I'd be trying that about a month before the meet. So 2 weeks out, I'd go back to my old knee sleeves.
Yeah, I agree. And I think again, this isn't directly laid out, but I think the implication is that you're just getting a new pair of the same style and size that you've been training in just to make sure they're a little bit stiffer. So yeah, just go back to your old ones.
Easy question.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you the second question then. You get 2 red lights on your second squat. It was very easy, so you want to go up anyway. You and your coach also think it was a good squat, So you want to go to the jury to protest it. What do you do?
So this one has a bunch of underlying
Mm,
situational things here. Two things. So like, let's just start with the first part. You want to go up anyway. So you have 60 seconds to get to the score table to turn in your attempt if you want to go up. And if you don't, the weight stays the same because it was a miss. So you have to get there within 60 seconds, right? Now, the second part of it, you want to go protest it because you think it was a good squat. That also has to be done right away. You can't just, wait, a couple of lifters and then decide to run over there. It needs to be done right away. So what do you do? Do you choose one or the other, or do so here's the thing where a lot of coaches go wrong here is like, you should always have your attempt card ready.
mm,
So I can literally have my name, the lifter's name, everything done, and throw the number that I want to go on there, drop it off at the score table on my way to the jury. And I can do all of that in under 60 seconds. The problem is when you don't know what number you want, you don't have a score attempt slip ready. You got to go over to the table, look at a conversion chart, figure out your next number. Then by the time you get that done, the next lifter is probably already gone. The jury might not remember it, or it might be too late to protest it. So my suggestion is fill that thing out quick, have it ready, always have it ready. No matter if it's an opener, no matter if it's the third attempt, always have those cards ready so you can be quick with it and then immediately sprint to the jury table so you can do both.
mm,
Now, here's the other thing. Let's say the jury does overturn it. If they do overturn it, then they give you the option to turn in your third attempt. Let's just hypothetically say we did 200 kilos and missed it, and we wanted to go up a little bit to like 205. All right. Well, so we turn that in, go to the jury, and then the jury says, okay, we're going to overturn it and you're going to get credit for the 200. Okay, well, if 200 is good, I actually want to go to 210. You actually can do that because it basically wipes out the attempt that you turned in, and it wipes out
mm,
it basically, then as soon as the jury tells you that they're overturning it, you get 60 seconds to turn in your next attempt. So I could stay at 205 if I wanted to, but if I know I got 200, I may want to take my plan, jump to 210 or whatever. So I think the takeaway here is you can do both. You just have to be on it at all times and ready to turn in an attempt quick and go straight to the jury.
mm.
Because if you just run to the jury and don't turn it in, and you're banking on them overturning it to go up, there's a high probability that they don't overturn it, and then you're stuck repeating 200 if you really needed to go up. So it's possible they overturn it, and then you get away with it. But like, if you want to do everything in this situation, immediately turn the attempt in, waste no time doing that, and then go straight to the jury.
So two things. If you don't have a coach, if you're there by yourself, well, I mean, I guess you wouldn't know if it was a good squat, really, because you can't watch yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, you could based on feel. So if you're
yeah,
lifting by
more or less.
yourself, yeah, if you're lifting by yourself, like I think you have to choose one or the other. Um, unless you know the number you want to go to regardless, because you can still do this thing. Like a lot of people, as if you're a lifter by yourself, like a lot of lifters have a clipboard that they take up to the chalk bowl with them that has a attempt slip with their name on it, has their numbers kind of written on a piece of paper beside like what they want to do.
Mm,
And as soon as their attempt is done, they can pick that up, put in the number, and turn it in because they already have it filled out. They can still do that. It's just
mm,
you got to understand like the possible scenarios. Because if you're just like, if you don't have the attempt, so what I do, I keep attempt cards in my pocket with all my lifters' names on it. Um, I don't use those unless it's one of those situations where I need it right away. I still go over to the score table, pick up a new one, fill it out, whatever, but I have all those ready in my pocket if a scenario like that comes up.
mm.
So,
So under what circumstances can you protest a lift?
so, ooh, I should ask you this because this has recently changed.
Ooh, if
Yeah,
it's recently changed, I'm not going to know it.
you're not.
So I know you could only have one red light. If it was all red, you couldn't protest. you'd have to have only one red light. Has that changed?
It has. You can protest anything now.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Wow. 3 red lights.
Yep.
You could get overturned.
Yep.
I mean, in theory. So
In
you get 3 of
theory.
the red lights and there's 3.
Yeah, I mean, the odds of that happening, I actually I've never seen that happen yet.
Hmm.
But I think the reason was, or let's say you get 3 white lights. But the jury clearly sees the spotter grab the bar or something, but the referees didn't see it.
Mm.
So that's a situation where they could overturn it, or something like that. So I think that's why that was changed. I don't know that I like that change, because I think, I don't know, it could go either way. I mean, I don't think people are going to be that ridiculous where they're just going to go protest every lift because they can. Most people don't even know they can protest, but
Right.
so
That's what I was getting at. So conversely, like you were just saying, if it's all white lights and the technical table is like, no, the jury says, no, that's not a good lift. Can they overturn it from there?
I believe that is the new rule. They can overturn unanimous decisions by the referees, which, I mean, if you think about that, that's 3 referees overturning 3 referees. Like
Mm.
for where it had to be a split decision, 2 red and 1 white, for example, the jury had to be unanimous. So that would be 3 plus the 1 that gave the white would be 4. So it'd still be a majority. Now it's literally like 50-50, but the jury wins
Interesting.
but the jury still has to be unanimous. So like there were a couple protests that I saw at regionals, that I thought were close, but I think the jury did the right thing and did not overturn, because it has to, the ruling is, or the wording is, it has to be like an obvious infraction or whatever. So like a depth call that's like, it could go either way. Like the jury really shouldn't intervene there, and they didn't in this situation. So
Yeah. So I know there's been some talk at some point about, and I think it got shot down pretty quickly, instant replay. Like, what if you did like a slow motion instant replay for national meets?
and I don't know that we should. I don't know that that's a good idea to use the instant replay, because everybody is going to have an angle on their phone that looks good. I think I've told this story before, where I was a side ref at nationals one year. Oh shoot, I can't remember. I gave either a red light or a white light, one of the two. But somebody brought me a video afterwards and said, "How could you give that light? Look at this video."
Mm,
And I remember the lift at the time. I don't anymore.
right.
I just remember the story now. But I remember, like, there's no question I was wrong in my whatever light I flew through.
Right.
But the video, like, I would say I agreed with them. Like the video makes it look like I was wrong, but
Right.
from the side where I was, it was definitely the correct call.
Yeah. I mean, you can have 2 different sides. You can.
Yeah, but it was the same side. It was the same side
Oh.
of, like, it was the same side I was on, but the way the camera was, it gave the illusion that it was different than it was.
Hmm.
So that's why
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of the video,
Instant
because
replay.
I think you can.
You'd have to have camera angles at all sorts of different things.
Yeah, because if you got a camera that's like tilted to its side a little bit, I mean, that can give the illusion that it's high
Right.
or deeper than it is, whatever.
I do remember there was a squat I did at nationals one time, and it was like my American record, like my best squat ever. And I got a red light on one side and I got 2 white lights. And the person who gave me the red light, I was like, no, I got it. And I did see video from one side versus the other side. And she was right. I was high on that side.
Yeah.
But I saw the video from the other side and I was like, no, it was plenty deep. So you can have 2 different views. And
well, again, in my case, like, it was video from the same side I was sitting on, and it looked completely different than it did in real time.
Or maybe you were just wrong.
I was not wrong. I was already wrong once that year, so.
Oh yeah, so it's fine.
It couldn't have been. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we tore that question apart.
The
So
funny thing is though, like I legit can't remember if it was I gave a white light and the video showed it was high, or if I gave a red light and the video showed it was deep. I honestly can't remember anymore, but anyway,
But it was the opposite.
it was the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It happens. That's why you have three, you
Yeah.
know,
But
'cause
I'm
you need
sure I
them.
wasn't wrong, even though I can't remember it.
Of course not. Of course not. No. All right. So we have some new lifter tips. All right. New lifter tip, make sure that you bring everything you may possibly wear on the platform to equipment check. If it's not checked, you cannot wear it.
Correct. Yeah, I think people, you know, bring the bare minimum and then they're like, oh, my shirt's sweaty. I want to switch t-shirts or something. Just little things like that. Like if you're possibly going to wear two t-shirts, bring them to the equipment check. Like it doesn't, you don't have to, that's the other thing. You don't have to wear everything that you get checked, but you
Mm.
can't wear it if it's not checked. So I think that's the thing there. So that's why you see some lifters that have been around a while. They'll bring like 3 singlets, like 4 squat suits. Like they bring, they're not going to wear it all, but like
Right.
if some scenario comes up where they need to, they want to be able to.
Yep.
So,
Been there, done that.
yep.
Okay. New lifter tip number 2. You ready?
Ready.
An opening attempt should not be hard. If you're legit unsure if you can do it, it's way too heavy.
Yep. I guess pretty straightforward. I think people just want to get as close to their max as possible when they open. That way they can have a couple of shots at it or try to get a new max. And it really doesn't end up working out that way. Like you want to get one in because that's pretty much always the highest anxiety point is the first squat. Or the first, and then the first
First of
attempt on the
anything.
other two. Yeah, first of anything, but specifically that first squat. So always something that you can do even on a bad day to get one on the board. Because if you're going in only planning to make one squat anyway, then you got your strategy a little bit screwed up.
Truth.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all we have.
That's all we have.
That's it.
That's
That's-
it. Cool.
That's a lot of content right there, though.
Yeah,
Dense.
that's what happens when you skip a couple episodes and just,
Yeah. I know.
questions keep coming in, situations keep getting posted online that we need to discuss.
Yeah.
Piles up. But it was fun.
So this upcoming weekend's the Team Row weekend,
Nope,
and I'm looking forward to that.
it is not.
It's not. Oh, you're right. Okay, just edit that part out. The
Nope.
weekend after that. Okay. Never mind.
Yep. So the
Oh,
end
I'm
of
excited about it. I wish it was this weekend.
yeah, there you go. Good save. Yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's gonna be our largest one yet in terms of turnout. So should be fun.
Definitely be fun.
Emma's coming. Emma will be there to keep everybody in line.
Totally. Because she's the master.
Did I tell you? So I told you she does pull-ups. We were doing pull-ups every day and stuff like that. But she is like, she's becoming a problem. And like, so I have like when she's down here, like I have weight trees and stuff and everything, but like she's literally like pulling the weights off and moving them to like different areas and like ones that she shouldn't be picking up because if she drops them, she's gonna like hurt herself. And then she's
Mhm.
also like pulling like the 25 kilo plates, like starting to slide them. I'm like, whoa. Like you're literally gonna drop that on yourself. Like, so I got to start like locking them up or something. But what I was getting to, she's like comes down and like wants to do the machine. So like she'll do like we do pull ups, but she'll do lat pull downs. She'll do like the tricep machine, like legit do it. On the lat pull downs, I've actually had to go down a pinhole because
Really?
she was doing just like she'd do like 30 of them and just keep going. So I went to like dropped it another pin and she'll get like 10. Like pretty good technique too. So she's
Wow.
yeah.
It's gonna be a
And she gets
prodigy.
mad. She gets mad if I don't let her do it. Like she'll just come down like randomly, like on her way to like the au pair is taking her to the park or something, and she'll be like point at the machine and be like, ah. And then I'm like, no, I can't do it right now. I'm working. And she'll get mad. So like I have to take her over there, let her do a set before she'll leave.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty
That's
good.
awesome.
Oh,
Super cool.
Here's another fun thing she did. So I was on a Zoom call the other day and she was down here just running around. I was kind of half watching her, and she always plays with the pins in the ER rack. She'll like put them in different holes and just play with them, not adjusting the rack, like the ones that are not being used. And I was actually talking to Paulie Steinman on Zoom, and he's like, she's taking all your pins because I got ER racks behind me. And I'm like, yeah, no, she just likes to play with them. She just moves them from hole to hole. Well, I get off the call and I look back there and all the pins are gone, like gone. And I'm like, what the heck? Like and I look around for like 20 minutes and I can't find any of them anywhere. And so I have 2 racks. There's 6 on each rack. 2 on each rack are holding the bar and weight, so they don't come out. But like, she took 4, so there's 8 pins missing. And I was taking equipment to regionals like that weekend, so I was getting ready to load stuff right after I got off the call. I'm like, daggone it. So I look everywhere for like 20, 30 minutes, can't find them. Anyway, I have other pins in a toolbox, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try this. So I give her a pin and just follow her around to see what she does with it. And she sticks it in. So I have the plate trees all over the place, and a couple plate trees have the plastic cap broken, and she stuck it in there.
Oh,
so I'm like, okay, this is helpful. So I go around to the different plate trees, and I got one of them that's just like half cracked, and I shine a flashlight in there, and sure enough, there's 4 pins way back in there.
wow.
And I can't get them out because I do eventually, but I have to pop the cap off because I can't reach in far enough. So I have to pop the cap off and then like tilt the tree forward so they slide out. Like this kid.
That's where your pins were.
Yeah. So they were in all different plate trees. So
yeah,
I had to go.
Yeah. Because when you have no pins, your whole rack is completely useless.
Yeah. And those pins are like $10 a piece to replace.
Oh, yeah.
So
right.
I'm like,
and you can't like just show up to, Dollar General and pick up these very, very, very specific pins.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you could get by with like bolts or something like, but that's still not ideal.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used bolts before, but like, it's not really what you want to use, especially in a competition.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Kids, they do the darndest things.
Yeah. So at the training weekend, we need to watch those pins.
Good point. Yeah.
Because she's got a whole farm to hide them on.
Yeah, for sure. You have an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week, Joshua.
All right. Let me translate. I'm tired of talking to you. Bye. That's not far. That's not too wrong. I see it in your face.
No, I have a meeting.
Oh.
I have this thing called work.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Well, go back to work. Put your squat suit on and go back to work.
Yes, you too.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Later.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.